This is Friday Night Fever Afterburn, sponsored by Arena Comics and Gaming.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Friday Night Fever Afterburn Week 11.
You did it. Your first full season of
It wasn't
Florida.
even a full season because I joined.
Yeah.
week
How
30.
did you think this season went? What you saw based on when you touched down in Florida?
I mean, amazing. I mean, I think you can see where the powerhouses are and you can see where the turnaround seasons are pretty quickly. And luckily, I got to see a lot of turnaround seasons, which I always like to see.
Yeah.
And then the powerhouses staying powerhouses. So,
Which I also like to see.
yes, which I also like to see because those are always just fun to watch.
They're always fun to watch. Yeah, it's different football.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, we can start
Scores.
off. Yeah, we'll start off with the scores. I always get so excited to get into the highlights, so we'll get right into the scores. You can start off.
Sweet. Bay Bozeman, that was the game that I was over at tonight, 62-13. I know I left at the half. Going into the half, it was 55-0. So Bozeman coming out of the half, decent, 13.
But they also didn't have their starting quarterback, right?
Oh, yes. I was going to talk about that before the half.
Oh,
but
okay.
That's okay.
No, I
did
just
not
I
have
feel
their
like that
starting
score kind
quarterback.
of reflects on they were missing a big piece.
Yes, they
So,
did not have their starting quarterback, and we can dig a little more into that in a
Perfect.
second. Arnold Rutherford, the game that you were at over
Yep.
at Tommy Oliver, a closer game, 35-28.
I didn't know who was gonna win it when I
we had to
left.
drive, not me. Karli had to drive by there about 10 minutes before we went live.
Because it was so close, I didn't know what it was gonna end like. So yeah, I had
Appreciate
to
that.
be sure.
And then Port St. Joe hosting their last regular season game, winning pretty well, 30-7. South Walton going on the road to Mariana, 49-20 for that game.
I think that was a good result for Mariana in that game, just because they've had a tough season, and
Yeah.
South Walton's obviously been doing really well.
Yeah.
So, and then we have Mosley. They played last night against Florida High, ending that one 26-17. And Walton coming up big, 43 over McClay, 13. And then we have Freeport. Gosh, look at that score.
Close.
They took that one, 36-35 over North Florida Christian. And then Sneads and North Bay Haven. That's a pretty, I feel like that was probably a fun game to watch. 38-22 Pirates.
And then Cottondale going on the road to Graceville. Graceville putting up 2 touchdowns,
Yeah.
but still falling 56-14. Cottondale's been pretty good all season. Holmes County over at Opp.
In Alabama.
Opp in Alabama, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. 20-22. I know Holmes County had a really great run, then ran into Blountstown,
Yep.
and then ran into Opp.
They've kind of been on a little roller coaster this season, I'd say.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I feel like
Saw a
they've
lot of
kind
good
of,
things from them, though.
yeah, as it got toward the end of the season, they were really, obviously they were on that 5-game win streak.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they did great.
Then Chipley also going on the road, 21-20, another really close game tonight.
Yeah.
Over Lafayette. And then Franklin County, 32, I believe this was last night on Thursday, going over to Paxton, 32-42.
All right. Yeah, no, I definitely want to get out to, I wish I could have gotten out to a Franklin County game. Obviously, postseason is going to start. Believe there will be a bye week and then postseason starts, but I'd like, if Franklin County is still playoff eligible, I definitely think I want to get out to
Make it
East
out there.
Point. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
All right, let's get into the first highlights, and that is going to be, let's see, it'll be a surprise.
I think it's Bay Bozeman. I think that's mine.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
A little bit of backstory here. As the highlights are running, we can just let them play. Or we can come back. Either or, it doesn't really matter. Perfect. A little backstory to this game. So Hayden Gay is at a camp. I don't exactly know what it is. So
Okay.
he is not here for this game. They had one of their best receivers, one of their best weapons, TJ Truitt, actually, as quarterback behind the ball. And he was doing pretty decent trying to get that run game. You can tell that Hayden is a very strong piece to that offense.
I mean, I think the all
You definitely see
season
that. Yeah.
they had the chemistry built with him.
Yep.
It's yeah.
And then I do know, I think it was right before the half, I do know that TJ Truitt also went down with an injury. I don't know if he made it back into the game, but I did hear that he went down with an injury. So I actually don't know what happened to Bozeman after that.
If you have an update on TJ Truitt, please let us know in the comments, because obviously I hope he's okay.
Yeah, and all props to him. He played all sides of the ball tonight.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And as quarterback, which is a very demanding position, and you can tell that is a very tiring job to play all sides of the ball.
He really
and
did
lead
everything
the
he could
offense.
tonight.
Yeah, but nonetheless, we can get into those highlights. I can lock into some of this video right now. Bay having a night. I mean, Xavier Morgan, I mean, he does kind of what he does best. He's finding his people. Look at that. Way deep. How do you even catch that?
I don't even know how you do, but is that that's TJ Davis?
Yes, TJ Davis.
Yeah. The thing is that's another offense, all sides of the ball weapon. He all season has been so instrumental for Bay. And then we have DJ Davenport. I feel like these two players have really diversified the skill and the talent, making Bay such a well-rounded team.
Yeah.
And obviously, is that John DeVos?
Yes.
Yeah. So they obviously have such strong quarterbacks, but they also have the strong running back and MJ Wilkerson.
Yep.
And those receivers, like we just said, and the strong safeties, which in DJ Davenport and TJ Davis, I think they've obviously, I'm excited for their playoff run. I'm not sure what that's going to look like quite yet, but I think this season, especially because these are Jeremy Brown's seniors, like this is MJ, he'll bust through about anything. But yeah, that's going to be an exciting playoff run for the Bay High Tornadoes. So
yeah, definitely fun to watch them tonight. They very systematic, I would say. They do well under pressure, even though I don't think they had to be well under pressure too much tonight. Obviously, they were sitting pretty comfortable. But yeah, I mean, Bay took that game and ran with it. It was 55-0 going into the half. Came out. Bozeman turned something with 13 points.
How did the beginning of the game look?
Beginning of the game, I did show up 2 minutes late, I have to admit. Bay was just holding them. They were forcing turnovers left and right. And I know Bozeman was trying to convert a lot on fourth down. So it was a lot of turnovers on downs rather than kicking, which, I respect because got to make the most of your opportunities.
That reflects to also not having your quarterback.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But you can tell Bay was very dominant this game. They did keep their starters in for a lot of the game. Even
that is interesting.
55-0.
The starters were still in when they were up 50?
When I left at the half, Xavier Morgan was still throwing that ball.
That's interesting. That's all I'm going to say. It's interesting.
I do know John... I don't know how to say
I think it's DeVos.
DeVos. He was sitting behind the O-line for a little while, and then they put Zay right back behind the ball. So I don't really know what the thought process was. Maybe for stats, because I know that Xavier is sitting at like number 23 or number 24 in passing yards.
This was a great opportunity for him then.
In Florida, yeah. So I definitely to rack in some of those stats, which
I'm sure he's not the only one also trying to do that too.
Yeah,
but we can move right on to the Arnold and Rutherford game that I was at. I was at Tommy Oliver. We have Will Cotter. He hits, I think it's Darren Elder out wide. Darren Elder he actually almost ran into me tonight. So if you saw that, that was pretty embarrassing.
You saw that? No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. But right here, this is probably one of my favorite plays I've seen all year. That's Connor, Trindle, I think, is how you say his last name. But then obviously we had Jaleel Reed go down back in, I think it was week 9, and that was Kezion Rochelle pushing for that first down. And this is Jamarian Blunt. Look at that. Little dude, but when he gets going, he's hard to catch. He's one of those.
I think he's one of their older guys too.
I can't tell you. I don't really know, but yeah. And then, no, but I honestly, Will Cotter, this is a tough one for him right here, but I think had a good night because one thing about him is he is very strong, and so what his strength is, whether when he scrambles, he's still able to push the defense back and gain a couple yards because just how big he is, his big body, he can push. But
he doesn't dump out.
No, this is a perfect example right there. Mm-hmm. He will push through when he doesn't see the options. I think sometimes he gets confused on if that would be a better option than just kind of calming down in the pocket and finding his options. Mm-hmm. But I think for the most part, this was Arnold's last game. And yeah, it's always tough. It always honestly makes me emotional because like we were both athletes in high school, you know, like that we had that final game. And, you know, like whether like this was a really great game to watch. It was tied. They were both winning at one point in the game. So I think for Arnold to finish their season on the win, they've had a tough season, and they're now 3-7, and
Rutherford hanging on though without
Jaleel. They somehow figured it out. There was a lot of like right here Wildcat possessions, a lot of Wildcat offense. I think Kazian Rochelle has really turned into the all-around guy. He can do absolutely anything. He can be, like you said, all sides of the ball. He will get something done when it needs to. So I think he's really been a big piece that's stepped up. And then we obviously have Braylon Hurd, who's also been at quarterback for Jaleel since he's been gone. But
Braylon Hurd was their leading receiver with receiving yards as well. So another team that has lost their leading receiver to
it's crazy. Yeah, like honestly, think back at, I hate to say it, but think back to, there's been a lot of injuries this season, and it's honestly, obviously each season there's something new to think about, but thinking back to these 11 weeks, it's been kind of tough.
Yeah,
it's been an interesting season.
Really early, like with Port St. Joe.
With Port St. Joe, I really think that was the first big injury this season I saw, and then ending it off, well, in regular season with the Jaleel Reed. It's just been an interesting season. So,
Definitely.
But we can get out of this game and go right into, what's our next game we have? Is it the Destin? Yeah, Port St. Joe. All right,
Port St. Joe, not a team that I have seen too much of.
Well, that's Corbin Butts.
Is definitely a name that I've heard before. That man can run.
He'll run through about just anything.
About anything. And then Zay Jenkins.
Yeah.
A name that we've
Zay Jenkins.
Plenty of times.
Wearing the hoodie and all.
Hoodie and all. I'm sure it was pretty cold out there.
Not when he's running. Whatever.
So he was really easy to find tonight. I know Destin tried to get some things going. They go for a pretty good run here and make it all the way up the field. I don't know if it's this drive that they convert on. They will end up converting on a drive. But eventually, Port St. Joe's just going to kind of take the money and run with it. Maybe some heat behind this game, not too sure.
Yeah.
Because they've been taking guys down.
The thing is I remember seeing this exact matchup back in spring. So you weren't here yet. You were actually still in college.
I was still in college.
Yeah, but back in spring, I saw the matchup between Port St. Joe and Destin, and Destin beat them.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that's why I think tonight...
back when they still had their starting quarterback, Port St. Joe.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was 7-on-7 spring, which is a very different game. We know that. But that was the first time I had seen Destin, and I was really expecting this to be, well, more of a 30-7, more of a game than 30-7. So I think, Zay Jenkins is just so.
I guess they started off pretty early and kept it running from there.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think, like we said, Zay Jenkins really was the guy tonight. And he's actually a basketball player.
Look at that.
Football is just what he does for fun. He is not, he is right here. He is a basketball player through and through. And
I think you could see that a little bit.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know how many touchdowns he had tonight, but definitely played a major part in that victory. So
definitely.
Congrats, Port St. Joe.
And an update, I do know Laura Trua is in the chat. She did say that TJ Trua ended up getting back up and rejoining his teammates. So that's really good to hear. Thank goodness.
Yeah, no, for sure.
One after Jaleel Reed.
No.
So that is really great.
Yeah, bless him. That's amazing. Obviously we were gone by that point, but thank you for the update, Miss Truitt. So, and then we can get into we have 2 more games to go through, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
3 Thursday Night Lights as well. Oh, wait.
No, it is 2.
2, yeah.
It's okay. And then we have the Mariana and South Walton game. And, he gets stuck in the this is another team that I know is just, it's been a little tough. They were 10-0 last year, and this year they were pretty much the opposite of that. And then we have J.D. Brown, who has been super consistent, finding Grant Gilmore I don't like that,
Scary.
actually. And then we have our consistent kicker, Nate Leach.
None other than Nate Leach.
And then look, this is
himself.
the exact same thing. How they let the exact same thing happen back to back, exact same thing. I can't tell you, I wasn't at the game, but it's pretty amazing. We have Nate Leach again, star of the show. And then, yeah, he is gonna, I think this is RK White who takes that ball, and he's gonna get as much momentum as I think the Dogs saw tonight. They end up putting, I think 3 touchdowns up. But yeah, South Walton just ended up dominating.
Good run there.
This one.
Ooh, hard hit.
I think they were just out footballed. But honestly, the South Walton has just been such a powerhouse this season, and Mariana's just had a tough season, and it's hard because, I mean, they're obviously coming off of such a successful season last year. They were the team to go furthest in the playoffs, and they're not going to see them this year. Yeah. So,
and I know South Walton was, the story's kind of flipped this year.
Yeah.
They flipped the script where they had not too great of a 2024 season. And got that brand new stadium, which I always love to talk about.
I know, maybe it did something.
Brand new stadium lit a fire right under them because they look so good. I mean, we've talked about J.D. Brown before. We've talked about Grant Gilmore and Carter Hawk, and
I think William Justice is probably one of William Justice, the running back. I believe he's a running back. He's one of the most. He's probably one of my favorite players to watch on South Walton, honestly. But yeah, no, he's been connecting with all of these receivers and running backs, and I think J.D. Brown has really turned into the strong, consistent guy to go to.
yeah, and he's a junior.
Yeah, he has another year.
Still got another year.
That's
and
what I'm
he's already
saying.
looking good.
So I'm thinking about next year. South Walton is going to be a force. I am saying that right now on Halloween in 2025. Next season is going to be good for South Walton.
Yeah, I know they needed this win as well because they had that big district loss to Pensacola Catholic.
They were probably fired up from that.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, I know Pensacola Catholic was a bit of a closer game. Not a bit. It was a pretty close game over there. Couldn't pull off that district, and I believe this win guarantees them to host in the playoffs.
That might be what they need, to be honest, heading into the playoffs, because I knew they got a little comfortable at some point, and I think having that push back to uncomfortability in the regular season when I don't want to say that they had the availability or it was okay for them to lose, but it was obviously better than if it was a different time in the season. So, yeah, it's a good win by South Walton heading into postseason.
Yeah.
And we have one more game, and that was the Thursday Night Lights game.
Thursday night game, that was the game that I was at. Always so much fun to watch. That's JP Holson back over to Holden Hinson for the first touchdown of the night. And they're just going to run with this energy. And I'm telling you, Mosley, once they have that energy, they're hard to stop. That's Sammy Kism. And look at this. How does he stay on his feet? I don't really know. I don't think anyone
He rolls
knows.
over the
I don't
defense.
think anyone knows how he stays on his feet. But he is just absolutely insane, carving up that field. Again, Holson back all the way
Play of the week.
deep to Jamarcus Halstead. Yes, that was my play of the week because I was like, how the heck? They were just beating.
They were having
FSU
fun.
They were having so much fun. They love the camera, obviously. I think they were just beating them on pure football, like man-to-man. You just run simple routes. You're going to beat them. You're faster than them. Right here, simple route, just going wide. He's beating them purely based off of speed and ability. They don't really have to do anything special. They don't have to do anything too creative. That was Carson Griffin, as always, moving the chains. And once again, Sammy Kism, diving touchdown into the end zone. He's gonna get right up to my camera, you guys.
I love it. I really, really think losing to Bay was probably one of the best things that could have happened to them this season because they went to another level of football. I saw it. You saw it. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people saw that loss to Bay completely rewire the mindset of the Mosley football team.
Yeah, and I remember
they're in a great.
I remember that week specifically in Afterburn. I remember your words very specifically. You said everyone that plays Mosley now has to deal with an angry Mosley.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they dealt with, and I think that's why they were loving the camera so much because they were having so much fun. But you can tell it's not even that they're angry anymore. It's just that they just locked in so well afterwards. Mm-hmm. They're playing just so clean, just
was
clean
hard.
football. They're running their routes so well. JP Holzenbeck has so much time behind his O-line. You don't see that too often in high school football.
No, but the Mosley O-line, they're just notoriously big. They're strong. They protect JP.
Yeah.
They will protect him.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably look at JP's helmet, and there's not too many
It's
scratches
clean.
on it.
Squeak, squeak.
But yeah, another really, really fun game to watch. 26-17 was that final score for a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Last Thursday night game.
All right,
Which I
yeah.
enjoy Thursday nights. So.
Yeah, I do too. Well, there's been less and less games on Thursday,
Yeah.
but all right. Congratulations, Mosley. And do we want to look at the final scores just to go over them one more time?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then we can say goodbyes. So, all right, we'll go back to those final scores just to give you all a reminder. And I did see in the comments, yes, I do normally, I mix up because we have 10 and 0, DJ Davenport and TJ Davis.
Hard
I
to see when
apologize.
you're right on this.
Right. I sometimes mix them up. They're both amazing players, and I apologize. So, yeah. So we just said it. Bay and Bozeman, 62-13. Port St. Joe taking that 30-7 win over Destin. Arnold taking the win over Rutherford, 35-28. South Walton, 49-20 over Mariana.
Yep, and then like we just said last night, Thursday night, Mosley taking a win at 26-17. Something I forgot to mention, that's an 8-game winning streak for them.
That's what I'm saying.
Probably
That
the
Bay game.
That Bay game did something to them because that's the longest streak that we've seen since.
Besides Bluntstown.
Besides Bluntstown, my fault.
That's okay. Not a
9-0 Bluntstown. How could I ever forget?
yes. Bluntstown. Yeah. Anyways.
And then Walton hosting their last home game against Maclay, 43-13. Pretty big win over there.
Yeah.
Freeport going on the road to North Florida Christian, 36-35. A really tight game. That would have been fun to watch. North Bay Haven going on the road to Sneeds, falling 38-22.
I'm not sure about what the possibilities for North Bay Haven going into playoffs. Obviously, we're gonna have to go over the weekend and see how all the seeding and rankings end up. But if North Bay Haven can make the playoffs, I don't know if that can happen.
Yeah, for district, I know it went
They were
Bozeman, Rutherford, then I think it was North Bay Haven after that.
yeah, but at some point they were playing for the district title. I believe that was the Rutherford North Bay Haven game.
Yeah, because they were on a 3-0. They had won 3 games. Anyways,
Anyways,
before we
yeah.
confuse ourselves.
Yeah.
Did we have any more scores after that? Perfect. Karli, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. And then we have Cottondale, 56-14, Graceville. I do believe that this was the most points Graceville has put up this season. It might have tied another game.
Woohoo!
But, yeah.
From no program.
No
to-
program to here.
Yes,
all right.
perfect.
And then Chipley taking that 1-point win, 21 over Lafayette. We never know how to say that, and I do apologize to anybody who lives there. 21 over 20. And then a little bit of opposite. We have Holmes County, 20 to Bobcats, 22. And then another Thursday night game was Franklin County against Paxton, and that was 42 Paxton over Franklin County, 30.
Perfect. And I know one of the teams that we love talking about, Liberty County, had a bye week. Would have loved to see them play again, but
Yeah.
they finished off their season insanely strong.
No, yeah, they have a rest this week and then obviously next week. And I got to talk to them this week, and that's a story. That's an amazing story. We'll send you to mypanhandle.com for that story. But their season is remarkable.
Yeah.
So
really fun.
I'm excited to
them in
see.
week 0 against Bluntstown, and I was like, ooh.
I know. And then they just really flipped the script.
Oh, flipped it right away.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think this is going to be our final afterburn for the 2025 season. And as we made the change from Sam to Delaney, I know we're all so excited to have her.
Sorry, guys. No, I'm kidding.
She's going to be here next season. And yeah.
Do you have some postseason thoughts, Karli? This was your second season here.
I know. Well, I saw 2 completely different seasons from last season to this season. And I think everybody watching can agree that the narrative is very different. And I'm very excited for postseason. I think last season we had a lot of teams that were 5-0. We had like 6 teams at one point that were 5-0, and then it all came down to Blountstown very quickly. And I think at this point in the season, for 2025 season, there are so many teams that honestly could go a lot further than I expected them to go last season.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen in this postseason, but I think it's going to be exciting. So
That is exciting. I'm excited to see that seeding. We'll get a lot more clearer view on what
Right.
our next couple of weeks are going to look like as well.
no, for sure. And we'll figure out this weekend. Obviously, everything has to go through the FHSAA and Max Preps, and then we'll figure out, we'll let y'all know as soon as we have the seedings and postseason play rankings. So,
definitely.
yeah.
But thanks y'all so much for joining us. I think we're going to end up calling it a night.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm Delaney Vega. Thank you so much for such a wonderful season.
Yes, and for the final time, Karli Koskovich. Thank you, guys.